It's the 22nd of January 1985, 8 o'clock in the morning. HMS Trafalgar's sonar room has picked up new contacts, not long after descending back down from communications depth. Seemingly unaware of the fate of their predecessors, another group of Soviet diesel submarines is heading this way, although they seem to be moving slower than the last, and are making more noise. One contact amongst the group in particular is giving the sonar men some trouble with identification. Its profile doesn't match anything they've encountered before, nor does it match anything they've been expecting. Captain Cook gives the order to continue tracking them as he slowly moves Trafalgar into a position to engage. As the quiet wait begins, he ends his shift and returns to his cabin, mostly to distract himself with the latest newspapers. Along with the usual domestic news, there are some items of greater interest. There are apparently unconfirmed reports of large-scale rioting in East Germany, particularly in Berlin, as well as in parts of Poland. Anonymous NATO sources claim that the Red Army's frontline strength is being sapped by having to redeploy units to deal with these civil disturbances behind the Iron Curtain. As to whether NATO member countries can confirm any involvement of their own in supporting or fomenting these incidents, there was naturally no comment. There's also confirmed reports of an entire company of East German infantry having defected wholesale during the night, just south of Hamburg. Having left their weapons behind after dark, they crossed over the lines waving white flags, and luckily, for them, were not immediately shot at, after a Belgian mechanized platoon spotted them in the open using infrared cameras. There's no more information for now, but inevitably one can expect lots of photographs to come of smiling defectors being fed copious amounts of American field rations. Some of the more optimistic Western analysts claim that the Soviet Colossus is becoming weak at the ankles and that only a few more pushes could see it come toppling down for good. The captain snorts contemptibly at this prediction, not because he necessarily disagrees, but because he's quite aware that it'll be his job to do the pushing, as usual. Still, the latest intelligence does suggest that the Red Fleet has begun taking older submarines out of mothballs to replace their staggering losses in the Atlantic theatre. This gives the captain an idea, and by the time he returns to the sonar room, it seems to have been confirmed. They have a positive identification on that last troublesome contact, and the result certainly causes Ed Cook's eyebrows to raise. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Cold Waters, where I am so mad that the wolf pack of 4 diesel Soviet submarine whatevers that we sunk last time was not apparently the correct wolf pack of diesel submarines, that I am not even stopping. I'm recording another episode straight on the back of the last one, and I'm going to kill these submarines as well, hopefully. I think we only have... Pause. Exo status report. I put one of those in. We have slightly more tigerfish than I thought we did have left. I thought we only had 4 left, which would have been serious squeaky bum time. We actually have 7, it looks like. 4 in the tubes, 3 more in reserves. We have no decoys, no moss anyway. We've still got the noisemakers, which will make things even more difficult. This is going to suck. What I need to happen here is 2 things. One is I need it to be only 2 submarines, ideally. And 2 is I need us to not be spotted at the start of the engagement. I need to be able to get nice behind them, snipe them in the rear, in the textbook fashion, which we have done many times before, and have that be the end of it. I do not want to be messing around, jousting with torpedoes when I have no moss to distract the enemy with. And I need it to not be more tangos and kilos, frankly, with ViewSet 80s. If it's just a pair of foxtrots, that would be ideal. Hey boy, alright. Here he comes. Okay, 15 meters, 5 knots. Moderate surface duct, strong thermal layer at 51 meters. We might be able to use that to advantage. We might be able to, we'll see. I'd like to close to 20 kilometers this time, not 15. And let's go, action stations.
Sonar, new rig ship for ultra quiet.
Sea's a bit choppier today, that's for sure. Alright, radar mast? Oh, really? We're just 3 meters too deep, huh? Alright, fine.
Make depth 1, 2, dive by.
I would like to eliminate the possibility of there being any trawlers out here causing us issues.
Con, dive at 1-2, dive by.
So up goes the radar mast.
Con sonar, master 1 is classified as merchant.
Good grief! It's that damn Vietnamese cargo ship at it again. Running interference for the submarines. All right, hello. We know what you are then. All right, they were on the map. They based on where they were on the campaign map. They should be over here somewhere. So let's deploy the towed array. Oh, sorry, it already was deployed. And let's get below the layer and have a listen.
Make depth
Takes down 100 meters.
dive by.
Con sonar, new contact.
Hello.
1, 2, 1, designated Sierra 2.
Hello there. What are you? You're not a whiskey as much as that. Whoa, whoa! Hang on a minute. I think it might be a whiskey. You're joking, surely. You jest, game. You are pulling my leg. Is there another submarine that fits the profile? Oh, look at that Echo 2. I'd love to see an Echo 2. I think I've never seen one of them before. An Echo Sierra. I've seen a Sierra once in a NATO campaign before. Haven't seen any Alphas yet, actually. That's interesting to note. A November. Oh, you never see them outside the 60s campaign. At least I would have thought so. You never know. There's the Papa. We haven't run across the Papa, and I say the Papa because there is only one Papa in the entire Soviet Navy. It can happen though. I have done in previous NATO campaigns. I have been ordered to sink the Papa. Oscar, yeah, Yankee. We've not seen a Yankee before. Or any of these Deltas, or the Typhoon, of course. I think the Typhoon is sort of like the end boss of the NATO campaign, if I recall. It's either the Typhoon or one of these other ones.
Con, dive at 1-0-0, dive by.
Come left 2, 0, 3, 9, help.
Hell's bells! Is it really a whiskey? Guys, I think it's a whiskey.
Con sonar, Sierra 2 is classified.
Guys, I think it's a whiskey.
Submarine.
It's a whiskey! Oh my god! It can't be alone, can it? If it's alone, we found the wrong group. Oh my sweet dear lord.
Con, helm, steady course.
The whiskey was initially designed during the war as a follow-on to the S-Class, but after the war was redesigned to incorporate captured German technology. The German influence could clearly be seen in the sonar installation with its prominent chin array. The class was modernized during the 1950s until a definitive whiskey fire that dispensed with deck guns in favor of streamlined sail. These boats are exceedingly slow and noisy, but with over 200 built, it's the most numerous class of submarine in the world. Guys, we're basically hunting a German U-boat right now. That's essentially what we're doing. This is basically a German Type 20 U-boat. Or is it a Type 21? I forget. The late war German submarine. I mean... to quote Indiana Jones, it belongs in a museum. I feel like sinking it would be an act of cultural vandalism. But okay, it is armed with Set 65, it's basically the same armament as the Foxtrot. It's Set 65 torpedoes, the 53-65 wake homers for engaging surface ships, and some Set 60Ms, which are very, very slow electric torpedoes for engaging surface ships with. And And has a Strela 2 for shooting down helicopters with, on the occasion where it needs to be done. It has it is one of the virtually, I think, one of the only submarines in the game that is faster on the surface than it is underwater. It is 18 knots on the surface and a blazing, blistering 13 knots underwater. Yeah, okay. This is the thing. This is the thing, apparently. Well, I'm gonna go around. I'm gonna go around and
Come right to.
Listen very closely to hear if there are any others about, because if this is just the one lone whiskey, we've found the wrong group.
Con, helm, steady course.
Man, look how close we can get to it without it even getting into the positive and the passive. Oh, we're finally +1 on the passive. +3. We're practically next to the damn thing. Within 4 kilometers of it. Good grief. Back in the minuses again. Oh.
Come right to 104 helm.
This guy makes the Foxtrot look like state-of-the-art technology. It really does. What are you doing in the ocean? I mean, if you required any evidence that the Soviets are losing this war, I think we just found it. I can't just imagining the sonar guys going in on board Trafalgar going through the book like, what the hell is this thing? Until they finally flip all the way to the back of the yellowest, dustiest pages and find the profile for a whiskey, and they're like, really? Okay. Captain Cook, sir, we believe we've located a whiskey. You've located a what, sorry? Speak up, man. I thought you said whiskey. No, really, sir, a whiskey. A what?
Come right to 111 helm I. Con sonar, new contact bearing.
We finally got something else. Okay.
Sierra 3.
What are you? You're not a whiskey. Okay. Not a whiskey is a good answer to that. Oh, it's a Foxtrot. Okay.
Con sonar.
The upgraded model
is classified as submerged submarine.
Right then. Jolly good. He's over here. Are they in tandem? I'm right. Okay, so here's the thing. There might be another 2 subs in this direction following up behind. We'll have to wait and see for now. If we're lucky, though, it's just these 2 antiques. It's a couple of pensioners, really, we're about to mug. That's what's happening here. Good grief. The only thing is, I'm not going to be able to shoot one of them without the other one hearing about it, I don't think. Well, I might be able to shoot the Foxtrot without the whiskey hearing it, but gosh, if it's really only a Foxtrot and a whiskey, we don't really care, man. Fire the torpedoes, go down below 500 meters and laugh, basically. I have commanded the whiskey in this game. I have done so. As I said, if you play the Soviet career mode, you start off in a whiskey. Which is probably a bit ridiculous, really. You should at least start off in a Foxtrot, I think, if you're starting the 1980s campaign. But I have commanded the whiskey. I have even gotten some success in the whiskey. I've sunk a couple of Norwegian and British submarines in the whiskey. But it is a singularly terrifying experience to be in a sub that old. In this kind of environment, it's really something.
Come right to 200 helm
I'm gonna be in his baffles momentarily, I think. What speed's he doing out of curiosity? Yeah, he's doing 8.
Steady course.
That's pretty fast for a whiskey. Looks like he's on like a head full right now. with his little, you know, speed gauge thing. Well, I don't know, I can't remember what they're called. The thing where you set the speed on the bridge of a ship. Whatever those are called. He's got one of those nicked out of a German U-boat. Still got German text on the side. Oh boy! All right. I think we'll poke one. We'll send one torpedo at both of them. Oh hello. The Foxtrot's actually noticeably deeper. Let's just come down a smidge then. In that case, down to about 150.
Come right to 252 helm I.
Still hear nothing back here, so I think it is just these two. Got the towed array out, and I'm hearing nothing. Just the Vietnamese cargo ship. Wonder if you wonder if it's like flying under a false flag, perhaps. It's actually a Russian ship, but it's flying under a Vietnamese flag. That'd be interesting. That's something that the Allies definitely did in World War II.
Right to 272 helm I.
They flew the flags of neutral countries to try and avoid being sunk. Right.
Con helm.
I reckon this will probably do. Alright, You gonna hear me, Mr. Foxtrot, when I fire? Yeah, you probably are.
Con, fire control, we've lost the wire.
This guy down here, this Foxtrot is so slow that... Oh, we've kept the cable anyway, but... This guy's so slow, though, honestly, like... Even if he tries to evade, I don't know how far he's really gonna get. Speaking from experience, I've captained both of these subs in a previous Soviet career mode, and a little piece of my soul dies whenever I sink one of these things, just out of pure empathy. Wow, did he really not hear that? He hasn't reacted at all. Let's dogleg it. Might as well maneuver the torpedo into his baffles. So if we lose the cable now, it's a wasted torpedo. Alright, number one's up there, has gone active. It is a passive Homer though, so it shouldn't have any difficulty acquiring that clunky old whiskey, and hopefully it also means it's going to be much less likely that anyone hears it. If it was an active that had gone red and now was going ping, 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 I think we'd see a bit more movement. We're chilling out at 600 meters, well out of harm's way. Just go straight for him, mate. Straight for him.
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
And it's acquired. I'm going to focus on the whiskey for now, though, because, oh boy, yeah, there it comes. Historians, avert your eyes.
Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 2, last bearing 280. Contact breaking up.
There it goes. Interestingly, the British, I believe, actually hold the record for the first enemy submarine to be sunk by another submerged submarine. I believe during the Second World War. I could be completely wrong. It's been ages since I looked this up. But I believe during the Second World War, a British submarine successfully managed to torpedo a German U-boat because they managed to spot its periscope above the waves, and they fired a torpedo in its direction, and it hit. which is amazing when you think about it, because that's a World War II torpedo with no guidance whatsoever, and calculated with a bit of old-fashioned mathematics done on the back of an envelope and with the aid of a very, very clunky analog computer. So, yeah. Not bad, eh? But alas, there it goes. Down to the bottom where it probably belongs, if not in a museum. Again, like the Foxtrot, it's got a green belly on it, unlike the later Soviet subs. Ugh. Good night, sweet prince. Meanwhile...
Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 3, last bearing 244. Contact breaking up.
Now, somewhat concerningly... Oh, okay, no, the light has now gone green, okay. I was like, hang on a minute, the light's still red. That's not good. Has the whiskey reached the bottom yet? Not quite. It's a long way to go in this deep water. Should we watch it sink all the way? Dun, 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 dun. Oh, it's gone. I can't look at it anymore, apparently. It's not allowed. Oh, or either that or it's just the camera's gone weird. I think the camera's gone weird. Either way, it's gone. Leave combat. Fine work dealing with those boats, Commander. Am I sensing some sarcasm from you, HQ? Every sub we kill makes it that much safer for our Navy and merchant colleagues awaiting new orders. Yes, well, it's a good thing that... Yeah, I suppose it's a good thing that I sank the damn Foxtrot and the whiskey. But I would argue that it's probably better that we acted on our own initiative and hunted down that other wolf pack of far more dangerous submarines. That apparently were not the correct ones. Ugh. Drive you to drink, this game will. Merchant and battling boredom more than enemy subs. Elements of the latest European support convoy laden with armoured vehicles and other equipment have made landfall at a European port after uneventful crossings of the Atlantic and the North Sea. The event was seen as further proof that NATO anti-submarine operations to date have been largely successful. The limited Soviet submarine threat has allowed for a more rapid build-up of men and equipment on the European continent. Many commentators are now discussing the hope of extended offensive operations to liberate occupied lands and eventually bring the war to a close. Yep, it's clear that we are very definitely winning at this point. Return immediately to Fastlane for repairs and to replenish stores at last. Thank you. Thank you. Let's get out of here. I'm surprised they weren't more concerned about the multiple surface task forces headed for the North Atlantic earlier we saw from the Soviets. Apparently they didn't interfere with the merchant crossings at all. Again, maybe they were defectors. Maybe it hasn't come up in the headlines of the news, but like a large chunk of the Soviet Navy has straight up surrendered and defected. Maybe that's why they're deploying whiskies now. Right. 31 days at war. 11 missions accomplished. 3 capital ships sunk. 4 other warships. 25 subs. 5 merchants. For a total of 37. And a total of 228,020 tonnage. A tired but proud crew sails into port after your highly successful patrol. The grins on your crew's faces speak to you even more than the greetings and enthusiastic handshakes from your superior officers. Yes, we've been through it a bit with this crew, haven't we? Alright, our new mission. Intelligence indicates that a wolf pack of enemy diesel-electric subs will soon transit the North Sea in an attempt to attack shipping in the English Channel. Now that is desperate. If not stopped, they could decimate our European supply efforts. No other ASW assets are available for this task. It is vital that these subs be destroyed. Really? In the North Sea, you don't have anything? That's, questionable. So, for those of you a little not quite up on your geography, patrol area yellow 206. The North Sea is expert damage control. Now, you'd have to be after doing an entire patrol with 55% hull integrity. However, we do need some rearming and repairing to be done. I'm gonna whack in a couple more I almost said typhoons then. No, harpoons, mosses, and then load up the rest with tiggerfish, and repair the tubes. And our hull's back to 100%. That's 32 hours in port. Damage repairs needed. What repairs? There we go. I think, right, now it says all systems operational. That was a bit weird. Alright, cool. Put a moss in there, please. And off we go. Cast off, anchors away. Yeah, this is the North Sea here. So this is an area of ocean that is it's quite shallow. It's quite shallow, so that will represent an interesting challenge for us. But it's an area of ocean that, you know, it's as you can see, you know, it should have anti-submarine warfare assets covering it from Norway and the United Kingdom and the Netherlands and probably France as well. So, and apparently none of them are available. Whatever you say, game. Whatever you say. Alright, let's get out of this dude's way. Not interested in him. You can go send a Nimrod to sink him, frankly. I'm not interested. It's not our job today. Woo! God, we nearly got run over by that surface group. Right, what was the grid reference? Review orders. Yellow 206. So this one down here. I thought for a minute it was 208. That would mean we were doing like doing a battle in the Skagerrak, which would have been, I think it's called the Skagerrak. This gap here between Denmark and Norway. I've never done that before. That would have been interesting. That would have been presumably been a Soviet submarine coming out of the Baltic that we were intercepting. But they want us in 206 apparently. All right, is that them coming down here already? Might be. Let's see if we can get them in a slightly less shallow water. No. Oh god, that was close. God. Why is there a bunch of Soviet escort ships just monkeying around in the North Sea? This just will not do. Okay. Alright, we found them. However, there's a very high chance that those Soviet surface ships are going to intercept us as soon as we're done with this. And if they do, frankly, I'd probably just try and skulk away from them rather than engaging them. However, let's go make it 20 kilometers. New sonar contact bearing 303, designate Sierra 1. Status report is all good. Action stations.
Con, sonar, new contact bearing.
Rig ship for ultra quiet.
Alright, where you at? Periscope depth, radar sweep. You know, the usual routine.
Raise the radar mast.
The sea is very calm today.
1, 2, dive by.
What's the seafloor at? 441 meters. Oh. Okay. And there's a strong duct and a moderate layer to boot. Okay, we're getting nothing on radar.
Lower the radar
So
mast.
it's definitely a baddie. Oh, you can even tell by using the third-person camera, which is cheating a bit, but there it is. All right, get the manual out. Oh, there's the Norwegian coast just over there. All right, what are you? You couldn't be, could it? Surely not. Not twice. No, I think it's a tango. It looks. I can just see this faint line here, and I'm thinking tango when I see that line. I'm happy to classify that as a tango.
Is classified as submerged.
Deploy the towed array. He's just hanging around near the layer, isn't he? Alright, take us just a little below the layer.
Dive by.
Con, sonar,
Oh, is he headed this way?
Sierra, come left.
Really? He's headed towards the coast?
Helm
What's he
aye.
doing? Could he be going that way and then zigzagging like... I don't know.
Come right to 018. Helm
Let's
I.
just turn this way and see if we can reacquire him with the towed array. I'll figure out what direction this lunatic is going. I did not expect him to be going this way.
3. Con, helm.
Right, we have Sierra 2. What are you? You look... Romeo? Ooh!
Con, sonar.
That's a rare one.
Is classified as
Follow-on designed to the
submarine.
earlier Whiskey, being nearly identical in size and role, but patterned heavily on the German Type 21 wartime design. Oh good, another U-boat. Which is evident in its more streamlined features. Like its predecessor, it is comparatively slow and noisy. Shut up, phone. Oh my god, phone, what is it? Give me like 3 notifications at once there. Which is evident in its more streamlined features. Like its predecessor, is comparatively slow and noisy, but features a much improved sensor outfit and heavier torpedo armament. Does it though? Looks like the same to me. The class was exported to several client states, including China, where they proved to be popular. But yeah, the Romeo you would typically more ordinarily see in the South China Sea campaign in this game against China. Not the Soviet boat. And I'm pretty sure it is a Romeo looking at that profile. So I could have got it wrong though. I suppose there's every chance. I'm just gonna go all stop.
0 knots. Maneuvering I.
I don't want to move any further forward until I figure out what the devil's going on here. Because we've lost that Tango completely. It's just gone. It must be above the layer. That'd probably be why. Certainly makes life a little bit awkward.
Con, sonar, regained contact.
There he is.
On
Oh.
Sierra 1.
He cavitated there for a moment, I think.
04.
There's the mighty Romeo. I've never seen a Romeo in the game before. This is my first... It's like it looks like the Foxtrot, doesn't it? Just a little shorter. Shorter and stubbier, and with this weird thing on the top here. Well, there you go. There's a Romeo. Another antique. Definitely look more modern looking than the Whiskey, though, that's for sure. But essentially, still, as it said, you know, it's basically still a Type 21 German U-boat. So... again, like the Whiskey, it is faster on the surface than it is underwater. It's 15 knots on the surface, 13 down here. Most interesting. Now, bearing in mind, we do have a very shallow seafloor today, so I can't easily evade its set 65. I mean, I can evade its set 65s. I just can't outdive them and basically activate our Trafalgar cheat codes.
Come right to 07.
I'm going to try and creep out of its way.
Maneuvering I.
Keep an ear out for that Tango. Oh, the Tango is back. We've got the Tango. I don't know why we lost it exactly, but we've got it again. Is my towed array not out? Bloody isn't. I think I might have accidentally retracted it earlier when I meant to deploy it. Whoops. Ugh, getting out of these guys' way is going to be tricky, but hopefully we can do it. I don't want to joust with these chaps in this kind of shallow water, although we are tremendously fast compared to them. The Tango, unfortunately, you see, Tango has the good torpedoes. The Tango is scary purely from an armament perspective. They're crossing paths right now in just the most awkward possible way, because to get out of the Tango's way, the easiest thing to do right now would be to go like that. To get out of the Romeo's way, though, that would put us directly in the path of the Romeo, though, is the problem. So I'm a little bit stuck for what to do now, because I keep trying to go this way, which would get us out the Romeo's path, but it might potentially bring us directly in front of the Tango, which is arguably much worse. So alternative plan C, I guess, would actually be to just go this way. Try and get away from both of them. Leave the towed array out and keep tracking them. I think that's might be what I'm gonna do, actually.
Come right
Yeah,
to
let's go this way.
130. Helm I.
Nothing is going to happen very fast in this particular encounter at the beginning.
Steady course.
But hey. And we also want to listen out and make sure there isn't just 2 of them. Because there might be more out here somewhere. Wow, Romeo. Oh, God, why did you do that? Did you just ping at random for the giggles, you son of a bitch? He did, I think. But we're only +2 on the active right now, so I don't think he knows we're here, in spite of that random ping. Oh, he's changed direction completely. What is he doing? Right now, not a +10 on active right now, so I don't think he knows where we are. He just did a random ping for giggles. He did probably what I would do if I was captaining a Romeo or a Tango right now, actually. He did a ping as bait. Because I reckon, he's like, presumably he must somehow be aware that there is a NATO submarine out here. And what he just did there was he sent out a ping.
Come left to 043 helm I.
Just to throw some bait in the water and hope I'd go for it. But I'm not going to, chum. I already know where you are. Yes, he's changed direction completely. He's going...
3, 5,
They're both going in a far more sensible direction right now. Yeah. I mean, it looks like he's changing again, but I think largely they both want to go down this way, don't they? And not directly at the coast, which would be odd. Unless what they were dropping off Spetsnaz, but I don't think that's our intention today. So... I'm wondering really here whose passive sonar I should be more worried about, to be completely honest. Because the Romeo is just that poor. I mean, look how much closer the Romeo is to us, but the Tango can only hear us ever so slightly worse. I can't believe we found a Romeo and a whiskey on the same day. What are the odds? We're now like vintage submarine spotters, in addition to being, you know, a warship. They'll throw a November at me next, you just watch. Now that really would be incredible. I mean, genuinely, I think I'd rather be in a Romeo or a whiskey than a November. The November is just that bad. It's a nuclear sub, but it's like the first ever Soviet nuclear submarine, and it was so comically loud that I think the Americans even gave it a funny nickname that unfortunately eludes me at the moment because the book I read it in I read like a year ago. But there was a group of them. They called them the Hens, I think. The hotels, the Echoes, and the Novembers. They called them the Hens, and they were these Soviet submarines that were all like notoriously noisy. You could hear them a mile off. Well, obviously more than a mile off, literally. Look how bad his active sonar is. Just look how bad it is. It's only 22 and we're practically next to him. The Tango is only +19 and we're like right here. We're what? Like slightly less, we're about, I'd call that maybe like 7.5 kilometers away from this Romeo, and his active sonar is still not at 30. 30 is like the maximum I think it goes to. I mean, what? His passive's still at -3. We're not even in the pluses yet, mate. Can you imagine if this is the wrong, if this is the wrong wolf-pack again? I would not be happy, but I feel like it must be. It must be the right wolf, because I feel like the randomly generated ones that just roam around the map, they have the more sensible loadouts in them, don't they? I'm thinking like in terms of video game logic here right now. Like we ran into that randomly generated non-relevant wolf pack, and it was like a kilo pair of tangos, foxtrots, about what you'd expect, right? About what we've encountered so far. But as soon as we run into mission-critical, like, relevant ones, that's when we start getting weird stuff, like whiskeys and Romeos. And the reason we're getting weird stuff like whiskeys and Romeos is because we're winning the war. Like, that's definitely actually a thing. I've checked the documentation.
Come left to 269 helm I.
the Soviets will resort to sending out disastrous old antiques like this if they start losing the war badly enough. It's a thing in this mod, and it's really cool, honestly. Which is why we're seeing them, but I don't think we'll see them in the random, non-relevant, sort of non-mission critical groups of subs, if you see my point. Could be wrong about that, actually, but I think that might be the case.
Come left to 250.
Maybe in the Romeo's baffles, yeah, not quite. Well, nothing to do right now but twiddle our thumbs and wait, I think, really. Are all the torpedoes set up to go correctly? Yeah, they are. We're at the right depth. Yeah, you're both at a fairly consistent depth now. You're down around under 90 meters-ish. Looks like.
Make depth 198, dive I.
It's potentially a little bit dull to
Dive at 198, dive
to do like this, you know, snipe them from the rear, but honestly, we're in shallow water, and it's an Iron Man campaign, guys. We gotta survive. We gotta try and... I'd like to win this. I'd like to go all the way to the end. I'd like to complete the... I've doomed it now by saying this, but I'd like to complete the entire campaign without dying. That would be glorious. I've never completed the NATO campaign before.
Come left to 2.
I could easily have done so if I decided to just play in a Los Angeles class or something. But I've always had a thing for choosing the slightly crappier submarines, I'll be honest with you. By which I mean I usually just play as the Soviets. I play as the Soviets or the British. I pretty much never play as the Americans because I think it's just too easy. I mean, I recommend playing as the Americans if you're starting out with this game. If you've been inspired by this series to pick the game up and give it a go for yourself, absolutely play as the Americans to begin with. That's the best way to learn. But once you reach a certain point where you understand enough of how the game systems work, there does come a point where you realize that playing as an American attack sub with your amazing, super duper awesome torpedoes actually does get a little bit too easy. You're still going to get into funny, hairy situations every now and again, especially if enemy aircraft get involved, but like most encounters are just going to be so trivial that it's not as fun to play. I like being the underdog in this game. I like being technologically challenged a bit.
Come left to 201 Helm I.
And having to come up with creative solutions. I mean, like, for example, take when we were trying to sink those Oscars. And we just couldn't get that other one. That was great. That was a really interesting, fun scenario for me. I've actually concluded since then that, after thinking about it for a while, that actually I think what I'd like to do in future, when I this Tango he's wiggling around so much, it's going to be kind of tricky to get a good trajectory on him with a torpedo, isn't he? Let's head directly south, and let's try and get closer to him before we fire. We're in both their baffles at the moment, so I think I'm going to speed us up a bit.
Make turns for 5. Make turns for 10 knots.
And let's just go.
High. Come left to 177 Helm I.
I thought about in the last mission with that last submarine, I did think about trying to sneak up really close to him. I'm curious now as to how close you can get to a Soviet submarine in this game now. Like, can you actually get, like, right underneath it, like, close enough to reach out and touch it? Because I know they did that in real life. It was something that definitely happened. But can you do it in the game, I wonder? I'm curious, actually, like, if you folks in the comments who played this game, like, how close have you managed to get to an enemy sub in this game? How close have you managed to do it? I almost thought about doing it in that last mission, like just trying to see how close I could get, and then I snapped out of it and realized, hang on a minute, no, I'm playing an Iron Man campaign. We can't be playing silly buggers like that. I can't just quick save it and then say, what if? Let's give it a go. YOLO. Leroy Jenkins. It's something I might have to try in a single mission though. At some point, just generate a single mission from the main menu, and then just see how close I can try and get to an enemy submarine when there are no stakes involved.
left to 174, helm I.
Look at him wiggling around.
Come left
Stupid
to
sexy tango.
173, helm I.
It's not very sexy though, really. It's kind of ugly, if I'm honest. It's got this bulbous nose on it, and kind of looks like a sperm whale in a way. But then it's got this horrible great vent thing on the side of it. I don't know what that is. But it just doesn't look good, man. It doesn't look good. There's some really tiny dive planes on it as well. You see those little babby dive planes on the front? My great big chunky dive planes, look at those. I mean, they're not actually that much bigger, I suppose, but... Funny thing, actually, is, it's probably the case on plenty of subs, but I know it's the case in the Trafalgar. The dive planes on the Trafalgar are retractable. They go whoop inside the submarine. They can do that. And the reason they can do that is so that you can break through ice without damaging them. Arctic ice, you know. You'll notice a few American submarines actually have the dive planes up on their sail, and I think that's for the same reason. It's to allow them to go punch up through the ice if needs be, without damaging them. I think that's why. I feel like that's more of an educated guess than something I've actually read somewhere, but I have to assume that's the reason why you'd make them retractable. Still, it's kind of cool. There's some really cool, like, cutaway diagrams you can find online of the Trafalgar and its predecessor, the Swiftsure, which is basically the same hull, but, you know, different equipment. I wonder if they've added the Swiftsure yet to the game in Dotmod. I wouldn't mind doing a Swiftsure campaign. Actually, what I'd love to do is a Churchill campaign and a Churchill sub, like the Conqueror. That would be really fun. I'd really enjoy that. Be a bit more challenging than the Trafalgar for sure, but I'd really enjoy it.
Come left to 172, helm I. Con, helm, steady course.
I'm chattering away a lot in this one instead of just cutting footage out, because honestly, we've already done one mission, and I know you guys probably you haven't seen it yet. I'm due to upload it today, but the hour and a half saga of the Tu-95 Bear. I'm sure you guys probably enjoyed having an extra half an hour of submarine combat footage per week, but it's a bugger to render and upload a video that big, so I'd rather just make this the last one we do this week. So I'm not making an effort to cut down things for time. How far away are we now? A little more than 8 kilometers. Still in the baffles, right? Very much so. Speed it up 12 knots.
Make turns for 1, 2 knots. Maneuvering I.
Theoretically, I think at this point we could technically do 32. We could just go flying speed right now and they wouldn't know we're here. But if I did that, I would actually lose sight of them, and I'd also feel really weird about doing it. Just feels wrong. Inherently, instinctively wrong to be going that fast this close. Whether or not I'm in their baffles, oh my god, he did not just do that. Oh shit. Alright guys, it's about to get fun. Fun is about to occur!
Shoot 2-1. Aye, sir.
Con, sonar, launch transient from Sierra 1.
Oh, baby, it's gonna happen. Fun is happening. This is great. Okay, here's the thing we're gonna do. You're gonna go active in this direction. You're gonna go active in this direction. And I am going to move. Have they actually fired? Is the thing. Did they actually fire? Yes, they did. Okay, good.
Come left to. Make turns for 3, 2
There's the seafloor at. Ooh, it's shallow. It's pretty darn shallow. All right, we've already started turning this way. This way.
064.
On. Motor ray has been damaged.
Oh, I knew I'd forgotten something. All right, never mind.
Con, helm, steady course.
Right, they're going to have a lot more to think about than me in a moment. You reckon the Romeo is still completely oblivious? I wouldn't be surprised. Alright, some high-speed North Sea
Fire control, we've lost the wire.
shenanigans are about to happen, everybody. Shallow water fun times. Might as well reload. He might be able to evade, actually, if he keeps going this way. A good clip. He might be able to evade the tigerfish I sent this way, because it ain't a snake pattern one, that one. I sent it straight.
Con, dive.
Just so it would cover the distance much more quickly.
Con, maneuvering, making turns for 3, 2 knots.
I could start pinging myself right now in order to reacquire the Romeo, but I'd actually quite like the Romeo to remain oblivious if it is.
Come right to 087. Helm I. Con, helm, steady course.
Hopefully, the UZ-80 is fired back at us isn't going to acquire me.
Con, torpedo room, tube
Need
2
to pay close attention to this. We're headed towards the coast. The sea is only going to get shallower. Ooh, he's slowed down. Or has he? No, he's just slow. He's just slow, period.
Con, sonar, launch transient from Sierra.
And he's fired again. Do you know what, mate? Fuck you. Have another.
Shoot 2-1. Aye, sir.
Of course it kept the wire. Of course it did.
Con, fire control.
Not
we've
for long,
lost
though.
the wire.
I'm amazed we got away with firing that at 32 knots, actually. My god, I didn't check speed before firing that at all.
Come left.
Oh my god, we nearly killed ourselves. Right, he's just fired again, so I'm going to change direction.
Left to 306. Helm I.
Because that's what I'd want me not to do if I were him.
Con, sonar, regained contact on. Con, helm, steady course.
If he's not a total bonehead, he might have fired one this way and one this way, actually, but we'll find out, I guess.
Rig ship for ultra
I think
quiet.
I'm going to go quiet now. Mostly just because I want to get a better picture of what's going on out there. Whoa. Yep, I'm glad I did that.
Come right to 038. Helm I.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. It has a cable. It definitely has a cable attached. Look at it turn.
2 knots. Maneuvering I.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Come right to 082. Helm
Look at it.
I.
Look at it. Look at it go. Look at it go.
001. Helm I.
Look at it immaculately follow us. Oh, I hate UZ-80s. I hate them so much.
Con, maneuvering, making turns for. Come left to 331. Helm I.
I'd really like to know where that thing is.
Con, helm.
It's difficult to track
steady
when it's
course.
not active. Now it's active. Alright, this is where the fun begins.
Come right to 063. Helm I.
Is it gonna change tack to follow
Con,
us?
sonar, lost contact. Sierra 1. Last bearing 193. Contact is in the baffle. Con, helm,
No
steady
question
course.
mark?
Come right to 08.
This way, we want to get out of its cone as fast as possible.
Con, helm, steady course.
Feels like once they... Oh, God, I didn't mean to do that. Bit of scary time compression there. I think we've evaded the damn thing.
Rig ship for ultra quiet.
It almost seems like once they go active, the guidance stops from the AI's perspective. Like, they stop actively guiding it once the torpedo actually does go active.
Right to 1,
If you see what I mean. Because it was following us perfectly, and then it went active, and then it just went dumb off into the distance like that. Kind of odd, really.
Con, helm, steady course.
Then again, I could be wrong. Maybe it's just as a coincidence that that happened, because in actual fact the Tango's now evading one of our... Where were they? This way.
Come right
Double back this way.
268, helm I. Make turns.
Speed up. Get out of the path of those 2
knots. Maneuvering I.
But our Tigerfish is somewhere around here, so maybe it'll go from... Looks like the Romeo's down. At some point during all of that, the Romeo went down. Good night, sweet museum exhibit.
Con, helm, steady course.
You stood no chance. He had no idea there was a battle going on the entire time. He's just like, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, just making my way through the North Sea. This is grand. I'm having such a good time. Bang! Meanwhile, the Foxtrot's smarter than that. I really should have expected it, honestly. I shouldn't have waited so long. Considering he did that random ping nonsense earlier, and he was wiggling around so much. The guy... Let me put it this way. The captain in charge of the Tango is a hell of a lot smarter than the one that was in charge of the Romeo. This guy's reasonably clever.
Come right to 287, helm I.
I feel like we're definitely out of the
Rig
harm's
ship for ultra quiet.
way of the top, so we're going this way, so...
Con sonar, noisemaker, bearing.
Ah! A noisemaker, you say? Aha, someone's in trouble. Might as well reload that tube while we're here. Well, we can't see the torpedo that's clearly going for him, but it is.
Con sonar, noisemaker, bearing 190.
Come on, Tiggyfish, you can get him. Yes, he's porpoising a lot right now, like a champ. These Tangos seem to be remarkably maneuverable in that respect. But you should get him eventually, hopefully. Guess those teeny tiny dive planes do work.
Con, torpedo room, tube 1 ready.
Maybe I should take notes, you know.
Con sonar, noisemaker, bearing 189.
But I swear to God, Trafalgar can't porpoise that effectively. But then again, yeah, Trafalgar has speed is the other thing though, so... This guy does not. Oh, there it is. There it goes, it's going for the noisemaker. Yeah, maybe that's the thing. Maybe he's making the right call here, I don't know. He doesn't have the speed to get away from the torpedo or even, like, you know, stall for time a bit with it. So instead what he's doing is he's trying to be as vertically maneuverable as possible in order to avoid being hit by it. And we've seen it work in the past. I mean, not forever. It doesn't work. It just, you know, it's not going to save you for very long, but to an extent.
Torpedo in the water. Torpedo in the
Shit.
water. Bearing.
What happened?
93. Make turns for 3-2 knots.
What?
Maneuvering
Where? How? Decoy.
Con.
Noisemaker.
1,200 feet.
Oh, there's 2 of them coming right at me. What the hell? I dropped the ball there, didn't I? Knuckle. Knuckle, please.
Passing 1,100 feet.
Con sonar. Noisemaker.
I couldn't
bearing
knuckle. Oh my God, I think we've had it.
190.
Passing 1,000 feet.
What? What What just happened?
900 feet. Passing 800 feet. Con, knuckle formed.
Oh yeah, now you form a knuckle.
Passing 700 feet. Passing 600 feet.
Con sonar, we are cavitating.
I don't bloody care if we're cavitating.
Con sonar.
Passing 400 feet. Passing 300 feet.
Well, surfacing is not going to save me against these
Con
torpedoes.
sonar, lost contact. Sierra 1, last bearing 1.
Passing 100 feet.
Con sonar, regained contact.
There's no
on
real reason to
Sierra
surface
1,
here, but I would like to stay
bearing
above
1,
the
9,
torpedoes.
1.
I really hope that Tango gets sunk, because I don't need him alive on top of my existing problems. These friggin' things snuck up on me, didn't they? Did they still somehow have the wire attached, in spite of all of the jiggery-pokery he was doing to evade?
Contact. Sierra 1, last bearing 1.
And sails
9,
poking out of
4.
the water.
Contact is in the baffles. Con sonar regained contact on Sierra 1, bearing 1.
What I'm trying to do
9,
right now,
4.
in case you're curious, is basically stay directly above both torpedoes.
Con sonar, noisemaker bearing 1.
Alright, he's
9,
popping
3.
noisemakers still, so he's obviously still in trouble. Not to say that we're not. Got a hefty helping of trouble of my own right now. The annoying thing is right now, I can't really turn the camera down to look at them. I'm having to rely on the 2D display here.
Con sonar lost contact. Sierra
Okay,
1,
the Tango's
last
down.
Bearing 1, 9, 5.
Good.
Contact is in the baffles.
Or not. It's
Con
actually just
sonar
in the
regained
baffles.
contact
Never mind.
on Sierra 1,
Jumped the gun there a
bearing
bit.
1, 9, 4.
Oh boy. Oh god. Oh, sweet Lord of Mercy.
Passing
Oh my god, they
100 feet.
practically clonked into each other then. I mean, I'd be tempted to come to a dead stop right above them, but I feel like
Sonar, noisemaker
that's
bearing
probably a bad
1,
idea in case one of them
9.
actually does acquire me. In which case it would be a sitting duck. Ooh,
Con
ooh,
sonar
ooh,
regained
ooh,
contact
we're getting a bit
on
shallow. I mean
Sierra
deep. I
1,
mean, oh god,
bearing
one of them's coming for me.
9, 3.
Con, knuckle formed.
I've not, you son of a bitch. I've knuckled and I've noisemakered. What more do you want from me?
Passing 100
Flooding in the machinery space.
Jesus! Damage control. Oh, Jesus, alright.
Control party. Made it to the machinery space.
Looks like the planes are total. Is the rudder gone as well? It seems to still be working to some extent, although it must be moving a lot more slowly. It's not even repairable. It's just buggered. The Tango still isn't dead. Jesus. Right, it's my own damn fault. I came too deep and one of them acquired me. Oh no. So is this lad. Right, proper noisemaker. He doesn't care. These, I hate these UZ-80s so much. There is a single
Passing 100 feet.
consolation prize here, and that is that torpedo that hit us
Con, knuckle formed.
somehow
Passing 200 feet.
did not oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Dive. Yeep!
Passing 200 feet.
Ah! God damn it. Leave combat. Abandon ship. NATO admits loss of nuclear sub. A NATO spokesperson has confirmed Soviet claims that US nuclear attack. We're blaming it on the Americans, are we? It's been lost in action, though the details were uncertain. Sources close to the Pentagon say loss of life was minimal. Most members of the crew have been safely recovered and are already ashore thanks to a determined rescue effort. Ah! The US Navy continues to assess the effectiveness of its submarine and naval operations despite the risks. Maintaining control of the Norwegian Sea and Atlantic remains the top priority. An undisclosed number of additional nuclear attack submarines have been dispatched to reinforce recent losses. Boys and girls, we're alive! Gosh, no, I don't want to be in a service ship. That'd be a hell of a demotion, especially since it would be an American one. Alright, so, we're alive. I was hoping to God this was the case, and it was. We were within escape depth. Turns out we were. That is one benefit of being in a shallow area, I guess. So, HMS Trafalgar has gone down. It's been lost. Rest in peace, Trafalgar. You were a fine vessel. You deserved better, really, frankly. I don't know what I could have done, though, honestly. It was impossible to get away from that thing. I mean, I guess it's my fault, right? I screwed up by accidentally going too deep and letting one of them reacquire me. But they were so tenacious. It didn't matter how many noisemakers and knuckles I threw at them. They just ignored every single one of them. I'm wondering if they still had wires attached. I'm wondering if the Tango was still guiding those things somehow, in spite of all of its evasive action it was doing. Because they were just impossible to shake off. We've had USA-80s fired at us before. I mean, the friggin' Kirov fired one at me, and I was able to get away from that with noisemakers and whatnot. But those things were just impossible, and they came out of friggin' nowhere as well. I think it still had the wires. I think it still had the wires because, judging by what by looking at the map, if they'd been going carrying on straight in the direction they were going, we would have avoided those two. But that didn't happen. They reappeared about 500 meters away from me, just homing straight in. I think that bastard Tango had still miraculously managed to keep his wires in spite of all of the evasive action he was taking, which is just the cheekiest nonsense I've ever seen. But there it is. I suppose ultimately it was only going about 15 knots because the thing is so friggin' slow. But even so, I mean, you're moving the sub around that much. Whatever, it happened. Regardless, though, effective immediately, you are hereby assigned command of the Trafalgar-class vessel HMS Tireless, S-88. So, I feel maybe it's a little unlikely that a commander would be reassigned to one of the other few remaining Trafalgar-class subs as a result of losing his own in real life. I feel like that might be the end of his career, if I'm honest. I'm not sure. But in the game, at least, Ed Cook has been given another chance. And we've been put in command of HMS Tireless, which has found itself somehow without a captain. Congratulations and good luck in your new command. Merchant survived transit. Well, you know what? We didn't lose Trafalgar in vain. It was a mission success. The Soviet submarine fleet has suffered major losses in the latest day of fighting. According to one source with an ongoing knowledge of anti-submarine operations, at least 3 red submarines have been confirmed sunk, with another 2 listed as probable. I'm going to say the other 2 were probably the ones we encountered. As a result, Allied convoys have begun arriving at European ports in greater numbers. Many commentators wondered aloud if they were witnessing the tide of the naval battle beginning to turn in the Allies' favour. Ask me again in a week or so, responded one Navy leader. We need a few more good guys like today. A few good days like today, rather. What am I on about? I wonder what happened to the Tango. I don't think we sunk it in the end, did we? I don't remember. I don't think we did. It was being chased by a tigerfish, and it was evading it, but I don't think we actually sunk it before the end of the mission. So, who knows what happened to that Tango captain, but I salute him because, yeah, I mean, he got the better of me, didn't he? He won. There's no other way of putting it. He beat me. Bastard. It wasn't even like the Oscar, where we both ended up skulking away. No, this guy properly beat me. He sunk the Trafalgar. That whoreson. Right. Mission orders. Satellite recon has revealed an enemy ASW group transiting at high speed towards the western Barents Sea. We believe a small unrep force is operating... Oh no, not this again. You're ordered to interdict this group and sink any replenishment ships in the area. You may also get a chance at the enemy warships this group is intended to support, but tenders and tankers are the mission target. Patrol area Blue 43. Locate and sink the enemy replenishment tankers and tenders. Locate and sink enemy nearby warships. Warships. If possible, blah, 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 blah. Our crew is apparently a new one. Our XO is Owen B. Not sure what the B stands for, but Mr. Owen. You are Owen Bradshaw. I've now decided that off the top of my head. Mr. Bradshaw has informed us of the status of the crew. I guess the rest of our last crew has been reassigned elsewhere, and only maybe some of them have come with us. I don't know what our old XO's name was. I don't know if this is the same guy we had before. I never noticed he was named on the sheet here. I'll have to check. But I assume it might be a new bloke, along with the new boat. So, of course, all of this means that all of our lovely bonuses we'd accumulated are now gone. And we're heading into the depths of the Barents Sea to try and sink another UNREP force, which last time, if you may recall, it resulted in us being hunted mercilessly by enemy aircraft. So that'll be fun. Review orders. Yeah, no. Rearm and repair. Let's get our loadout. So, yeah, I do not need tomahawks, thank you. No, be gone. 4 harpoons will suffice. 4 mosses will be fine. And the rest with tigerfish. Alright. That's us stocked and ready to go. Okay. Cast off. Let's go. Right. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, as my blood pressure and my poor heart tries to recover from everything that just happened. Wow. Yeah, no, I'm going to need a week off from this. I'll see you next week, everybody, as HMS Tireless sets out on her maiden voyage. It isn't really a maiden voyage, though. I'm sure this submarine's been up to no good in the meantime while we were in command of Trafalgar, but whatever. Our maiden voyage with Tireless will... I'm going to have to update the thumbnail, aren't I? It's going to have HMS Tireless written on it instead of Trafalgar. It's a good point. I hope I remember to do that. Yeah, next time, everybody, Tireless will tirelessly make her way to the Barents Sea, where we will try not to get sunk by aeroplanes again. Until then, folks, hope you've enjoyed. Toodaloo.